Alright guys, so for this video we are doing a full metal wilderness, and as you can see I have my trusty long shot here. So I got a new gun, a new 22 long rifle that I intended on using for squirrel season this year, and had to take it out and get it sighted in. So as you can see, I'm all equipped in the standard shooting gear. Not so much, but it was comfortable. So what I've got is I've got a CZ 457 Premium with the Hawke 22 long rifle specific scope, item number 14222. These first couple shots are just at 50 yards to try and establish some kind of baseline and try and get it kind of sighted in. So first couple rounds or so are just to get that going. Took my scope caps off so I could make some adjustments, and you might want to remember this moment later because it will be kind of important. So this scope is kind of special. Since it's designed specifically for a 22 long rifle, it has hash marks in it that are set up for specific ranges. The top marks are for 50 yards, which is what I'm shooting now. The next set is 75 yards, which is another thing that we'll test here in a minute. And then it also has 100, 125, 150, 175, and 200 yards. I doubt I'll be making any shots at 200 yards. I've had people tell me that it's very doable though. And after trying this rifle, I'm impressed. I think if there was ever a 22 I was going to attempt it with that's within my budget, it'd be this one. So at this point we were establishing some good 50-yard shots. I think I've got a group of 3 or so between that shot, this shot, and the next one to try and establish what kind of group we can get. And here's that moment coming full circle we talked about earlier. So, kind of made a goof on this one. Might have forgot they were there and run off with my tripod. That cost me about 15 minutes later. Luckily they were just underneath the tent. That last shot there, you can see the vapor trail really well. That was pretty cool. I was pretty impressed on how well I could see the bullets even through the scope while I was shooting. So we got our 2 75-yard shots. Now I'm backing up to 100. Took 3 shots here. Looks like 50 was spot on. 75 is pretty darn close. And I don't know about the 100. More tests are needed for that. But 50 and 75 are pretty near perfect. So after those preliminary tests were done, I was ready to go hunting. We sat outside in the woods for probably about an hour, and we were hearing squirrels everywhere. Here on this part of the morning, I'd seen one, and it had gone right up this tree, and I was having trouble finding it. We later determined that they were just really high. They were way up in the top of the trees, and it was really hard to find them. And when you did find them, you didn't see them for very long. Not long enough to make any good shots. And that might have just been because of the type of forest we were in, because they were fairly tall, well-developed trees. So most of the stuff they're interested in is near the top of the tree. My brother got one shortly after this, and he was using a 17 WSM Savage rifle, and we heard squirrels everywhere. We're having a lot of trouble finding them, but I think it was probably about a half hour later, we both decided to go look at one that we were hearing off in the distance, and that's when this next part happened. It's kind of hard to see the squirrel. He's in the small twisty tree. I followed him for a short distance through the woods. I was kind of afraid he was headed towards a hole or trying to hide from us, but he's near the top of that small tree, kind of working his way down there. If you look real close, you can see him right there, kind of moving through the leaves. My brother got a phone call about that time. There he is. Paused it so you can see. It's really hard to tell, but he's right there where that stick attaches. He stopped just a second too long. Got him right in the head. Practice pays off. Unfortunately, right after that, my brother had to go on a call.
Yeah. Nice shot. Thanks. There you go. One each. We're killing it. Oh, there's one over there. He just jumped. Oh, shit. That is way too far. What's wrong?
I gotta go open a gate.
It's fine. Let's go.
So, unfortunately, right after I got that one squirrel, my brother was on call and he had to run off and handle some work business, but I didn't really mind. Just like I told him, I was just excited to be able to spend some time with him, go out in the woods, be in nature, and really that's what it's all about for me. I'm excited if I get something. It's kind of just a bonus if I actually get to kill something. You know, I'm sure a lot of you guys that go out hunting agree with me. It's more about being outside, being in the woods, the camaraderie with everybody else that goes hunting. It's a good time. So my brother and I, we only got one squirrel each. It was kind of a bummer because we were having a little competition with some of the other guys we know, and surprisingly enough, there were like 8 or 9 of us, and we almost tied the person who won with just a squirrel apiece. It was a pretty hard day. Most of the squirrels were up high and they weren't super active, so we weren't the only ones that had some issues and experienced some problems. We definitely had some crap talk back and forth at each other and how, you know, little we actually, you know, did and accomplished. But, you know, I had a good time. We rode around a little bit, talked, we went to a few places, saw a bunch of wildlife. So in the end, that's what matters to me. And a lot of the part of doing this video is I also wanted to tell you about the equipment I was using. I mentioned earlier it was a 457 premium with a Hawke scope. Guys, those CZ rifles, I know you know me, I'm a CZ fan, and man, every time I buy one, they just sell me more on how good they really are. I was so impressed with that rifle. I'm going to say I put in a decent effort. I mean, I could have worked harder at trying to keep my groups tight, and I mean, I could have been even less serious about it, I guess. I mean, I put in a decent effort, was what I'm trying to say. And my results were fantastic. I mean, my groups were less than an inch at 50 and 75 yards with a 3 to 9 scope. And that Hawke scope, I mean, I know everybody has their scope brand, but I really do enjoy the Hawke scopes. They're very nice. So I would definitely recommend to anybody who's looking for a 22 scope that 14-222 Hawke 3x9 scope is a fantastic 22 rimfire scope. So the equipment you run, ultimately at the end of the day, it doesn't always decide whether you're successful or not, but it certainly helps to have good tools, good equipment. And the CZ rifle, the Hawke scope, both a win, guys. I'm very satisfied. So don't be afraid to try out those items. I think you'll like them. You don't have to have the best stuff to be successful, but always helpful. So thanks for watching. I will have shortly a dove hunting video where my dad and I went dove hunting. Quite a bit more success on actually bagging some stuff on that video, but end of the day, had fun both times. So we'll catch you guys next time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I do check the comments once in a while. I check about once a month. So if you don't get a response right away, you know, don't feel offended. I'll get to you guys. We appreciate your input. It's very important to us. So catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.